during which some of our community will walk around the room showing off some of their work. You are welcome to take pictures as they move out the room or afterwards. After the parade, students will be welcome to head to the table behind this staircase to pick up their certificate and graduation gifts that was made in-house by our talented staff, and we hope that you wear it tomorrow at the Big House during commencement. At 4 p.m., our lab open houses will begin, so if you want to explore the rest of the building and see some of the really cool spaces that your students have been working in throughout the years here, you are welcome to begin exploring around 4 o'clock. You'll see signs throughout the building as you explore, directing you to those lab open houses. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our department chair, Professor Dawn Tilbury.
Oh, thanks, Crystal. And it's great to see such a big crowd here today. So as she mentioned, I'm Dawn Tilbury. I'm the department chair, and it's truly an honor to welcome you here. Many of you may know we are a young department. This is our 4th graduation ceremony. So we have been a department for almost 4 years now. I tell people we're pretty much able to feed and clothe ourselves. Actually, we have plenty of food all the time, so that doesn't seem to be a problem. And we got plenty of swag, so lots of robotics t-shirts around. But anyways, on behalf of all the robotics faculty and staff, I want to congratulate all the students who are graduating this year on this important milestone. As a graduate of the University of Michigan Robotics Department, like I said, only 4 years old now, you've joined a very select group of roboticists who are representing the maize and blue in this fast-growing and exciting field. You all have lots of opportunities ahead of you, and while that's exciting, it can be a little scary sometimes, because you got to choose one. You can't do it all, at least not all at the same time. But when you are a little bit afraid of what to do, I would take some time to reflect on what you've learned here during your time at the University of Michigan, whether it was a 2-year master's program, a 4-year undergrad, or 5 or more years in your PhD. Think about your first MBOT project. Think about your capstone. Think about your dissertation. All those reports you wrote, that code you wrote, all those robots that you were able to play with. Those are the moments where you showed how you were creative, resilient, and collaborative in solving real problems. With that skill and experience, I'm sure you can do almost anything in robotics, and I'm excited to see where you go. So be sure to check us on LinkedIn and tell us what you're up to. I'm sure everyone is saying that this year, that we, as in 2026, are at this inflection point with so much computing power available, so much data, so much AI doing everything, so we think. And where is it going to lead? How will we know what to do? When I was a graduate student about 127 years ago, I filled pages of notebooks with computations of locations and angles, x, y, and theta, of multiple trailers being towed behind a truck, and changed those coordinates into new variables more suited for finding feasible paths analytically. Now, AI is solving those tough robot planning problems automatically. It's becoming a trusted confidant of all of its users and reshaping industries. It's also hallucinating, making things up, and if used improperly, can propose solutions that put people in harm's way. I asked a student this semester to ask ChatGPT all the questions in the back of the manufacturing textbook, and I'll say it didn't pass the class. You know, some things it knew, some things it didn't, and it wasn't sure. So we are at the forefront of how those technologies are going to be designed, developed, and adopted. We need to be the ones to push the technology, use it when it makes sense for the benefit of society, and take our values along with us when we go in our work. So as you all, as graduates, embark on your new journeys, and all of you family and friends watch them with excitement and a little trepidation, think about where robotics are going to be in your lifetime. We already have robots that vacuum our homes, and the robotics building, if you've seen Robbie around. And we have robots that work side by side with people and tasks at places like warehouses and airports. Have you seen the robot wheelchairs that are taking people around the airport to get them to their gate? So how could robots help with planting and harvesting gardens or farms? Will robots help discover new life in outer space? In medicine, surgical robots already give doctors better precision. Where else in hospitals and doctors' offices can robots improve medical care while reducing cost? So as we imagine all the opportunities for robots to help people accomplish their goals, I want us to make sure to think about what parts of the work should uniquely be done by people. Where are humans important, and how can humans work with robots to make life better in the future? So as leaders shaping the future of robotics, take a moment to reflect, dream about the possibilities and impacts you can make, and keep asking questions. I'm sure you'll be successful wherever your future route takes you. So finally, congratulations again to our amazing graduates. Stay in touch with us. Let us know what kind of exciting things you do. And forever and always, go blue.
Go blue.
So next up, we have, I believe, Leah Sterling, who's the undergraduate program chair. Leah?
Hi everyone. As I look around this room, I see so many different familiar faces, and it's wonderful to see you all reaching this moment and this point. So congratulations to all of our graduates completing your undergraduate degree, your master's degree, and your doctoral degrees. In robotics, we say that we work together, we create smart machines, and we serve society. You put in so much hard work to arrive at this moment, but you weren't alone in this journey. Robotics is about working together to achieve our goals, and you built networks while you were here and added to the networks that you came with. I want to thank all of our family members that are here and the family members that couldn't be here, that are supporting all of our graduates and believed in them on their pathway as they were working towards their degree, and supported them and gave them moral support as maybe they were having second thoughts or wondering what they were doing, and then here you are, and you've made it, and you've achieved it, and you've come over those hurdles. While you've been part of our robotics family, you've grown your networks further. You've gained friends in your peers. They've helped you persevere, but you've also helped them persevere. You've also gained mentors in our robotics faculty and in our staff. Beyond teaching courses, we've had the pleasure of getting to know you in research, in project teams, and in outreach events. One of our robotics values has been enthusiastic outreach, and many of you have taken this value to heart, supporting not only our local robotics community, but the broader community as well. We're celebrating your achievements today. With your education, you have the ability to change the future and shape the future of technology in the world. Step into this role with integrity. You know what systems can do and what they cannot do. You will extend their capabilities, but also be mindful of what they cannot yet do. Continue our robotics values of integrity in action. Completing your degree does not end your connection to robotics. Robotics will be your home, even after you've left. You are now robotics alumni, and we're glad to have you in our robotics family, and we look forward to hearing what you're doing next. As you take your next steps, I want to encourage you to stay connected with each other and with us. You have the knowledge, the creativity, the compassion, and the determination to do amazing things. And we look forward to seeing where your path will take you. We're really proud of you, and congratulations. I'd now like to invite up Connor Williams, a current doctoral student, to share his remarks.
Robotics, advised by Professor Leah Sterling and Patricia Alvis-Oliveira, and I'm excited to celebrate all of our accomplishments together here today. Another fun fact, I'm also one of the first graduates of the undergraduate robotics program. And 3 years ago, I remember this space being much more roomy since there were only 2 of us graduating. I'm excited to see the immense growth of this program, and I'm looking forward to growing further with this department as my doctoral studies continue. Today, I want to share one key message that I think is critical to take with you and apply not just in your professional careers, but in your lives. This message pertains to your purpose as an engineer, who is also a human being and faces challenges. By challenges, I don't just mean hard equations to solve or conceptually difficult algorithms. I mean the hard challenges you faced that have impacted your ability to learn and sometimes to simply exist. The time your financial aid package was altered, and suddenly you didn't know if you could attend the college that your life already planned around. The time the policies in the class changed, and you had to sacrifice your health and well-being to get caught up. The time you caught someone doing something wrong, but you were scared that addressing it would come back to haunt you. These are the hard challenges we have encountered, and bit by bit, they can wear us down mentally, physically, and spiritually. Now, I'd like to focus on a different aspect of these situations, which is how you made it through. You, as brilliant people, have the tenacity and willpower to make it through anything you put your mind to. However, you likely didn't do it alone. You had your friend that you made on the first day of classes that you instantly bonded with to validate your concerns and maybe even strategize with you. You may have had your parents who may not have completely understood everything about complicated, ridiculous land algorithms, but they were still there to hear you out and hear your concerns on late night phone calls. You had an academic advisor who managed to find just the right loophole or technicality to alleviate a nonsensical yet devastating roadblock. What I'd like to highlight here, these little vignettes, is what they have in common, which is simply empathy. The action of vicariously experiencing the feeling, thoughts, and experiences of another. Those critical people took a small step to reflect with you about your lived experience and internally related your challenge to their own past. And through that, through synchronizing emotions and trying to locate the deeper message you were trying to convey, it inspired and motivated them to take action, get creative, and provide genuine support. They did not hear you, they listened to you. There's a difference here. A hearer might let you speak for a bit, but deflect and say how at least things aren't any worse, or that there probably isn't anything that can be done without a lot of work, and that shouldn't you just learn to get used to it because that's what the real world is like? A hearer is there to be a sink for your concerns. Brutally put, a vacuum that pulls more of your soul out of you and leaves you a husk who believes things can never change. It is not true that things can never change. My grandma Evie says so. She tells me every time I talk with her on the phone that the only constant in this world is change. Note that this does not apply to things like the ratio between the diameter and circumference of a circle, or other imaginary things. But those are pedantic details that only a hearer would bother to point out because it enables them to subvert the main message. That main message is that the world we live in has been constructed by some people and can also be reconstructed by others. And this is what a listener recognizes. A listener will not just hear what you're saying, but will seek to see your perspective, validate that perspective, and get creative. A listener may not be able to relate entirely to your message, but they don't use their alternative perspective as a means to dismiss yours. A listener will know that while there are forces at play to keep things the way they are, there are also mechanisms in place to enable the critical changes necessary to make your world and everyone else's a better place. It's those listeners in your life who are the real good people who helped you overcome your seemingly insurmountable challenges. Take a moment to think about those wonderful people in your life. Now, I want you to think about the times that you were that listener. The times your friend came to because their grade was unfairly low. The times a student you were mentoring or a project teammate came back to you and said they couldn't figure out how to do the thing you asked them to do. The times a peer in student work had difficulties meeting some eligibility requirement in which as a leader you were responsible for ensuring adherence. Any situation in which you could have stopped and said things like, oh, this is just the grade you got, you should just do better to keep that from being an issue in the first place. Or, I asked you to solve this problem and that's the best you can do. Or, too bad, deadlines are deadlines. You as a listener did not do that. Instead, you sought creative solutions to their complex problems like any engineer should do. You pointed out the regrade request process. Maybe you even helped them draft a response. You listened to the confusions your student or teammate had so they could identify the best approach. So you could identify the best approach for getting their understanding up to speed. You found a way to give some grace to the person who needed just one more day to get their Wilson Center training in. Listening can be hard, but it has simple beginnings. It's asking earnest questions and seeking to build empathy with the person going through a challenging situation that you have been stuck in before. My ask for all of you graduates is to recognize the difference between hearing and listening, and strive to be the listener who brings us all to a better earth. Thank you, and go Blue.